You see, Juggy, is it okay if I address you as Juggy?
Not an issue.
So I was saying, we are sitting here like two monks who've escaped the monastery, only to find each other on the same park bench.
Well, I must say, it's not every day one gets to share a bench with a man who tried to liberate the entire West by shocking them out of their pants, literally and spiritually.
Why not? They were wearing too many anyway. Too many beliefs, too many pants, too many ideologies.
And beneath all those layers was not the body the least of their burdens. It's the energy they never understood, never learned to hold with clarity.
Exactly. The trouble was never with the body. The body is innocent. The real chaos begins when we start denying the fire within, sexual energy, and instead of flowing with it, we choke it with guilt, with morality, with shame dressed up as virtue. You see, the problem with humanity is not sex. It is shame. Sex has never been the issue. It is the repressed mind that becomes dangerous. I say to you, sexuality is not merely biological. It is existential. It is the first door, the beginning. And unless you pass through it consciously, it remains a burden. But if you pass through it with awareness, with joy, with gratitude, it becomes a ladder. That's why I celebrate it. In my communes, I encourage love, playfulness, even what society called promiscuity, not as mindless hedonism, but as a sacred experiment. When the body is accepted, only then can you transcend it. Repression keeps the body in the basement. Celebration lets it dance under the sky. And when it dances fully, totally, it dissolves. What remains is the fragrance, the soul, that is Tantra. Not morality, but transformation.
See, I don't disagree that sexual energy is powerful, but the thing is, power must be handled wisely. It's not about labeling sex as sin or virtue. It's simply energy, potent and capable. In yogic science, we call it ojas when it is transformed. When that raw biological urge is not acted upon, but raised through disciplined awareness, it becomes light, clarity, perception beyond the physical. This doesn't mean one must be celibate. That's a choice. But true celibacy is not about avoiding sex. It's about transcending the need for it. Most people mistake suppression for spirituality. That's dangerous. But indulgence without direction is equally futile. So we create sadhana, inner work, not to deny sexuality, but to harness it. Not everyone needs to become a monk, but if you want to touch the mystical, scattering energy is not the way. Focus brings intensity, and intensity opens doors.
Intensity, yes, but not seriousness, my friend. Life is not a grim battle against instincts. It is a celebration of paradoxes. A man making love to a woman with full awareness can enter the same sacred space as a monk meditating under a tree. I've seen it. The orgasm can be a glimpse of the beyond. If you're present, that's what people miss. They rush through the act like it's a transaction, not a communion. In the commune, I allowed people to explore each other, sometimes wildly, because only in that chaos can truth emerge. You cannot guide someone to transcendence by locking their instincts in a closet. You must give them space, trust, and yes, some fell into indulgence, but others flew. I have no regrets. The body is not the enemy. The unconscious use of it is.
I understand your point, and it's true. Transcendence must be real, not forced. But from my experience, most people are not seekers. They are security hunters. Give them freedom, and they build new prisons. That's why I structure the Isha Foundation not around pleasure, but purpose. We build consecrated spaces, offer tools, not doctrines, for inner transformation. The energy of the place does half the work, but it is not a free-for-all. Discipline is not denial, It is devotion to depth. My focus has always been, how do we create an atmosphere where an ordinary person with ordinary desires can still access the extraordinary? That's why I say, individual responsibility must be primary. Communes can become chaotic, or worse, cultish. The spiritual journey is not democratic, it's alchemical. One must mature inwardly. That's why we guide without pushing, and we protect without controlling.
Ah, but democracy is not the enemy of alchemy. In my commune, I wanted an explosion of freedom, not a trickle of obedience. I never dictated anyone's journey. I simply offered mirrors, sometimes broken, sometimes beautiful. My commune was a laboratory of the soul. Yes, it went through fire. Yes, it was attacked, misunderstood, sometimes even misused. But something magical happened there. People laughed again, danced, cried, dropped masks. We shattered the idea that spiritual growth must be somber and solitary. Even the scandals were part of the fire. Ashes remain, but those ashes are sacred to me. A flame once lived there.
You burned brightly, Rajneeshji, no doubt. But sometimes, when you burn that hot, people get blinded or burned. I chose to go slow. My center grows like a banyan tree, deep roots, slow canopy. We don't shock people into awakening. We invite them. And yes, many won't leap into freedom. But if they can take one conscious breath today, that's something. Not everyone needs to tear down walls. Some just need a window.
And some need to walk through fire.